expert biologist, and when this handsome fellow isn't traveling across the world doing research, he's at home cooking a great meal?
But yeah, that's all true, but Sancho, where did you get that?
An excellent assistant knows how to write an excellent introduction. You got it, boss.
Or taking a long walk on the beach? Who wrote this mess?
This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. The broadcasters of your area, in voluntary cooperation with federal, state, and local authorities, have developed this system to keep you informed in the event of an emergency. If this had been an actual emergency, the attention signal you just heard would have been followed by official information, news, or instructions. This station serves the five boroughs of New York City. This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
Solo just to be full pocket. There's never anywhere to flee. So I'm trying to see if I can make this work, like without having to rewire everything from like the way I've set it up. Like, so the way I have my setup is that I draw while lying down in bed because my actual screens are at my foot, right? So I have two widescreen TVs at my foot, which is around about 30 and a 43 inch, 40 inch and 43 inch side by side. And then I use this one here, right? So this one right here is the Wacom Syntec, what I recently bought, as I mentioned, secondhand. It's quite a bit of money for me, as an indie creator. But I bought it because I wanted one for a while to be able to work on, and coloring and stuff makes life easier when you're coloring. So hopefully, I wanted to see if I can test it, see I don't have to rewire everything, where I've just moved the mic to another area of the room without having to unplug from a hard drive, my PC hard drive, right? And so the camera's where it's always been, right? Pointed towards the, my studio kind of setup, right? With all its lighting. So that's why you don't see me on screen, because it's pointed somewhere else. So it's better for me to just do have the icon up and talk and stuff, or since I'm here. And so the whole idea is that if I can do it this way, I don't have to reconfigure my whole freaking setup of the studio, that I have to sit it, in the chair and draw it, which is kind of tough on my body, especially my spine and neck, to look down and bend over the screen, when you're drawing on this Syntec. So this way I can actually have it in my lap while lying down and coloring in. There's quite a lot of work. There's about three projects that I'm coloring at the moment, doing the base colors, which is basically, like the flat color flats. And you just have somebody else go in and do the tones. As you can see here, it's just, just yellow, blue, red background, dark watercolors here where the colorist can come in and, finish off with the tones with the light light and dark tones of the blue to make the water pop. Same with the, with the costume here. It's got another kind of like a dark tone, or which is the original color of the costume for this Egyptian god character, right? For the Valley of the Kings, is that you go in here and you do the base color, and then you kind of let the so the colorist can go in, color pick, and then change tones the way they want to brighten to make it come alive. Give it a 3D effect. You guys have seen all that, right? You understand. If you're into comics, you understand all that. So I don't have to go on about that. But yeah, so it's kind of directly drawing on the tablet or like a Cintiq makes it really, really easy for someone like me, who's used to looking at another screen while drawing on a Wacom Intuos, which is just a black, tablet with nothing on it, like a pad with nothing on it, and you're looking at another screen, so you're looking ahead at what's like a 45-degree angle, and you're drawing, on another pad. So, over times, I've spent like the last, I guess 2008, 2010 to now, like 9 years. No, that's 15 years ago. Yeah, 15 years of drawing on a Wacom into a tablet, right? And now I don't have to do that. Now I can do directly on the color screen, just as you see it here, right? And go in there, clean up, draw every little thing, just color match up, and pop a color in, and pick my tones. Let me get rid of this so you can see. And that way I can just pick my colors, go in there, and choose what sort of colors I want. Is it going to be a dark palette? Is it going to be a light palette? Depending on who, what the characteristics of the, tone of the actual comic is. And the other thing is that it doesn't matter what your flat colors are, like a dark or light. The colorist can come in, the toner can come in and actually make it brighter. And that's what I love about people who are actually colorists. I mean, I don't consider myself a colorist. I'm a painter, right? An artist by, history or career, what background? Actually, that background, not history, career, background. Paintings and coloring and stuff like that. But not actually comic book coloring. So usually when I do stuff, I just do flats and just let pay the colorist to do that, or somebody else comes in who's paid to do that. If I'm not in charge of that, of the contract and so on. So yeah, I will. We'll do a. My mind pays. What pays? This is a test. This is just a test. Hey Tank, how are you, mate? Hey Tank, we'll be keen to do interview sometime, man, in the future. I'm doing two US Saturday interviews every month. So, Tanchon? Yeah, I think so. You're right. It does. It pays to get someone else into the tones if you're not used to doing the tones. And I mean, if I was painting, it's as a painter, right? As an oil painter and as an acrylic painter, it's easier for me to just mash up the colors in a pot with a brush the way I want it and test it out next to it, dab it, and then next thing you know, dab. Oh, sweet. Yeah, this is just a test, man. But I thought, I'll just do a little bit longer and explain why I've got it set up. So yeah, I didn't want to I was trying to figure out, do I rewire everything so that my Wacom, is my Cintiq is in front of me on the chair, but then I realized if I sit more than an hour bending forward, it causes a lot of neck pain, which I have a car accident issue, neck issue, spine issue. So if I bend over like that, it's going to actually make it hard, and hours after I'll be in pain. So I thought, how about if I just do it this way, where it's actually I don't have to rewire anything and just move the mic over to me, next to me on the bed. and I can just lie in bed and just draw, do what I need to do. So I thought I'd try this, test it out. And yeah, it does pay to have notifications on. I always put, I always go in and notify it for everything for everybody. I don't even know if people actually hit the notify button on the channel until like you just told me. I didn't even know that you'd hit the notify. But yeah, I'm hoping that with the setup, it'll actually help me health-wise to be able to do it without having to move a lot, and put too much stress on myself, because it's just that's the other thing about when you having to do two different things. Cheers, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Like, I usually go for subscribe and everything, right? So hopefully it pops up for me whenever somebody goes on. But usually on the homepage, I see the screens come up and I go, oh, okay, hit notify. Because usually, this I just, I didn't put enough. I didn't give a lot of time for this because I was just doing a test to see if this would work. So I messed around, unplugged a bunch of stuff, replugged a bunch of stuff, and thought, okay, well, I really don't want to go around and unplug all the wires from behind my TV screens and then have to rewire it again and rewire it again every time I set up to do this. But I think this is a cool way to, yeah. Is that like when you go if you subscribe all, is that what it does it? Like, I'm looking at a Tosi's screen right now on another tab, and I've got subscribe all. So I guess the bell is there that would allow you to get the notification. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I am going to come back later and do a bit more work, but I just thought I'll see if this works or not. And if this works and it looks like it is working, then yeah, I can settle in to do some work. But yeah, it's trying to find that little sweet spot that, so you can actually, someone in my situation, and even if you got, if you're dealing with that sort of having to bend over all the time, I think maybe, and getting sore neck and sore back. We look at all the elderly, comic creators with their life, and they usually have back issues, neck issues, arm injuries, what they call tennis elbows, wrist injuries. Me, I already have all that without being 30 years in the business, right, kind of thing. I was thinking about today, I posted about Punch X that I started doing comics in 2007, and yet, having accident straight away made everything horrible. And so now I've had to rearrange everything around me. And anybody who's been in my situation knows that, right? If you have back or neck injury, you know that you got to make it so that that your environment works for you, not you work for your environment. Like I say, work smart, not hard, right? So yeah. Okay, so even if you only watch someone's channel for 45 seconds and leave a word comment, you're helping. But yeah, that channel out a lot. You're right, man. I always try to comment. Sometimes I leave it a whole page, but I like to let people know that, hey, I did appreciate it, and that I think it lets people know that there's people watching, and that's important, especially if you're if you have a low count as a subscriber and you don't instantly get 10, 20, 30, 100 people watching as soon as you go online. I think it's that's a pretty cool way of doing that. Thank you, Farrah. Appreciate that, Tank. Yeah, I've led a life of adventure and have the sports interest through it. Yeah, I have the skateboard injuries. I have elbows that have scars on it from falling off half pipes. Going downhill and scraping my elbow on on gravel. Coming off, what was it like? I came off, and as a kid, I came off over the top of the handlebars on my BMX and hit my head and concussed for the 10th, sorry, not the 10th, maybe the 5th or 6th time, because I've had 7 or 8 head injuries. So I have issues with memory, and I have issues with missing words when I'm writing and stuff. So I always have people look over my work for for when I've missed out words in scripts or if I've like misspelled something because my fingers don't work right sometimes, like my right hand. My thumb, like a bit of my thumb and my two pointer fingers, right, have been sliced, like the tendons have been sliced. So they tend to be slow when I go to type, and they tend to like type out of place. It's usually THE is the worst. I usually type TEH with my right hand because because my left hand goes to hit the E, and like my right hand's already hit the wrong, it's like already hit the T, and then like when I hit the E, I think the H comes in the wrong position. Yeah, so the YouTube algorithm is actively searching for those markers. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool to know. Yeah, it's talking about like like leaving a comment and stuff and like buttons. Yeah, that's why I was like, I'll make sure I go to do that. I'm just like, it's kind of like pay it forward. Like I think that's the way, the old school way of doing things, right? If you see something you like, you show appreciation. And like even yesterday, man, I was like, sorry for the screen being there all the time. Let me pop that off and let me bring in. I'll show you. There's this really there's a new magazine channel that I saw. It's called is it Metal? Hold on, it was, what did I do? They did what was the name? Fish. That's it. They did a fish. I think there was a fish. Dang it! What was the name of it? Hold on, it might be in my like subscriptions. Later subscriptions might pop it up. It was, I think it was called okay, let me put on some music while we do that, because but they did this really cool cool little music video. I mean, like, no, music doco, right, about this band that I. This channel here. So yesterday, I came across their where'd you go? Fish. Hold on. They did I think it was them. Hopefully it was them. Oh, it was Fishbone. Sorry, my bad. Fishbone. Yeah, this. So it wasn't yesterday, but they did.
We like to listen to it.
But this documentary came across my channel out of the blue. Right? So that was so cool. Like finding out who this band was that I'd known in the 90s, right? Because they had a song on the Last Action Hero soundtrack. Because I love that soundtrack. It's got the best Megadeth song, Angry Again, and it's got What the Hell Have I, and A Little Bitter, which is two of my most favorite, like, has to be in like the top 5 of my favorite Alice in Chains songs. And so, yeah, it was like finally realizing who these, who was that did that. So I left a comment there, and I gave them a follow as well, because I thought it was quite cool. I mean, quite important to do that. There is me under my own, under my previous, the Plungecast channel. So I'm just saying, finally I realized where I first had swim, and instantly fell in love with, right, the Last Action Hero, because these guys talked about that. That's where they appeared on the soundtrack, music soundtrack, right? And so I said, I bought it on tape. Like, this goes back to the 90s, right? Like buying it on tape and just putting on your headphones. So you go downtown instantly. You don't have to run home to put it on your record player, right? I bought a record player last year, so now I'm like, yeah, I'm a vinyl. I'm going back to my vinyl days. But so you buy your tape from the music shop, and straight away shove it into your freaking Walkman on your headphones, and you listen from number 1 on A side to number whatever it is, the last song on the B side, Walking Home or whatever it was. Usually it was Walking Home, because I was doing a chef's course at that time, and so walk into town, get the tape, walk back into town, or go hang out, listen, go, window shop, whatever, some grocery shop, and then listen to tape. And so, yeah, so, angry again, what the hell have I, and a little bitter, man. When you hear a little bitter, it's like, or even, what the hell have I has the most amazing intros for both those songs. Yeah, so got to respond, right? So, yeah. Yeah, so, from, and now I'm, follower for everything. So another thing popped up about them today. They did a little short clip. And, yeah, the soundtrack, yeah. And, it's absolutely one of the best. Like I said, it's one of the best, man. So I got to learn about Fishbone in the background. These guys are just crazy, really amazing, musicians, right? So here's, where is it? So this is this is a soundtrack, and one of the greatest things to that. Just that start. Intro, man. And the focus ticket with the that freaking grungy sound, right? All right, man. Take care, kids. Cheers. Thanks for hanging out. And I think that's us, right? I mean, I know that this is working, so thank you, Ken, for hanging out and letting me know that's all working really well. Appreciate that, mate. Okay, so since this was a test, it's been a good test. It works. I don't have to rewire everything for my Syntec to be part of the studio setup. So hopefully, yeah, it's all good. I will catch you guys later. Catch you on the flip side. Have an amazing day, week, night, wherever you are. And appreciate you all, man. Yeah. Like, subscribe, whatever, and we'll catch you on the wild side. Or on the flip side. Whatever side, we'll catch you there. Catch you down. Have a good one, guys.
Nope. Can't stay here anymore. I gotta get back. I think this was the spot. Oh Lord, I beseech thee, please return me to my old life. I swear I'll do anything. Like, literally anything. And I won't bother you again, so pretty please bring me back to life.